Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin, and you know what time of year it is? It's spooky season. And you know what that means? It means that it is time for Blackoween. Blackoween is happening in October, like it happens every October. If you don't know about Blackoween, it is a readathon where people read crime fiction, horror, suspense by Black authors. It is created by Bree over at Locked Booktition, and so I will include Bree's announcement video down below so that you can get all the specifics, because that's not what this video is for. Bree has spelled it out for everybody so that if you want to participate, it's super easy. And so head over to Bree's channel. Also, just if you didn't know about Blackoween already, how? If you don't know about Bree already, how? Go watch her stuff. It's a good time over there. So she has created a place called Toolish Parish, and in Toolish Parish there are 7 locations. I cannot quite remember, but basically you pick your location, you pick a role. You can either be amateur share, detective bon temps, or investigator Thoreau, and depending on what role you want to be, it'll determine how many roles ROLLS you're gonna do. And so I have the goal of being investigator Thoreau in every location. Last year I was investigator Thoreau at Tiiimmmeee graveyard, and so that means that I'm reading 5 or 6 books. And so I could roll a dice and choose my prompts, but that doesn't make sense when I'm doing all of the prompts. So I'm just gonna go down the list and talk about the books that I'm going to be reading. Now, do I know what half of these books are about? No, you know I don't know a synopsis, but we're gonna try to figure it out. I'm gonna try to tell you what's happening. I didn't even tell you the location I was going to be in this year. So this year I'm going to be at Joe's library. Did I want to go back to Tiiimmmeee and read some like really creepy things? Yes, I did. But here we are. Here we are. We're at Joe's library this year. And so these are the prompts. First prompt is a historical reference. So something that obviously references something in our history. And for that, I'm going to be reading the group book for this year, which is The Trees by Percival Everett. I believe it is about 2 detectives who are investigating a bunch of crimes that come up. And so there's always like a primary body, but there's always a secondary body at the scene of the crime. And that secondary body always seems to resemble the body of Emmett Till, who was a young boy who was wrongfully murdered in the South. I want to say in like, was it the 50s? The 40s? I can't remember, because what is time? But he was wrongfully murdered and his body was horribly mutilated. And so this body keeps popping up, and I assume that they're going to try to figure out, one, who's killing the people, and why this body that resembles Emmett Till keeps popping up. So I think that that might be really, really interesting. The second prompt for this is a crime fiction, and so for that I'm going to be reading All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. Was I supposed to read this last year? Yes. But here we are. Here we are. We're here now. There's a black sheriff. There are serial killers. The sheriff is going to investigate the serial killer. And that's really all I know about this. I don't know much more than that. And I don't think I need to know much more, because then I might know too much, you know what I mean? But this is taking place in Virginia, which is not too far from me. So maybe there will be some locations that I'm just like familiar with and it'll pop up in here. Maybe not. Virginia is a very big place. The next prompt that I have is written by a Black man, and for that I have Devil Meets Devil by Johnny Compton. I actually have an arc of it, and so I'll be reading that. I read Johnny Compton's Spite House a couple of years ago, maybe last year, maybe the year before. I really enjoyed it. It was about a haunted house, and the house was haunted. The people who were investigating and were living there, they were haunted by their past. It was a good time. I enjoyed his writing. That was his debut. So I'm going to try Devil Meets Devil, where a girl has always had this kind of guardian angel who's always protected her until recently, where she gets married to a guy and all of a sudden the guardian angel just kills the guy out of nowhere. And it's like, why would you kill him? I just married him. And so now she's starting to think that the guardian angel is not necessarily a good guy. Something's not right about this guy. Angel guy, whatever. Something's not right, and she's gonna get to the bottom of it. Or maybe he's gonna kill her. I don't know. It could both things could happen. She could find out and then he kills her. I don't know. We're gonna find out together. The fourth prompt that I have is a book written by an indigenous man, and so I'm going to read The Only Good Indians. I think that Dasha gifted this to me because she really liked it. And I've only heard really good things about this book. I've read Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones, and it was a trippy time. So I'm curious to see where this is. I know that this is about a group of boys that did something in the past and like their past is catching up to them. And so like, I don't know how that all comes about, but we're gonna find out. And then the fifth prompt is a book with a musical element. And for that book, I am reading My Soul to Take by Tananarive Due. I know that this is part of the Immortal series, and it has to do with like this group of people who figured out how to become immortal. And this one guy, he's been living with his family, and the immortals are like, hey, you got to come back. And he's just like, I don't wanna. And they're like, but you have to. And I think that if he doesn't, then his family might be in danger. I know that this has to do with a musical element. One, because I asked right. Two, because it is one of the recommendations that Brie has suggested. I think that the main character, David, he is like in a jazz band or something. He's a jazz musician. And so there's a musical element to that. And then the sixth and final prompt is your free space. And Brie has said that you can double up on a prompt. And so I'm going to just pair the free space with any of these other books that I've had. So I will have been fulfilling all 6 prompts. And then I will be investigator thorough. Okay. I will be master of Joe's library in my head. And I will win this because there is no competition, and the only competition is with myself. So that's what I'm going to read. Also, if you've noticed, I have 3 books here. I own these. So that means that I will be reading 3 books off of my physical TBR. You know that makes me so happy and excited because I'm still trying to get my TBR down. And I think that this will help. I also have a few other things that I want to read in October that are not Blackoween related, but are still maybe spooky season related. I don't know. To be determined. But I do know that some of those books are on my physical TBR if I do get to them. So fingers crossed that I do. And then I'm still chugging along with Brando Sando, and the spookiest thing about that is that the length of those books just never end. It scares me every time I pick it up. So yeah, I might be reading Oathbringer. I haven't even finished Words of Radiance. What am I saying? Anyway, that is my TBR. That's my Blackoween TBR, my maybe other reading stuff for the month. So let me know if you guys are participating in Blackoween this year. I would love to know if you are, what location you'll be at, what books you're reading. Have you read any of the books I've talked about today? Are you interested in any of them? Let me know. Let's talk about it below in the comments. And until next time, bye.